Hey, to all my female baggage droppers out there, I have a question for you. Do you like gold or silver? Well, at Brienne and Company Jewelry Store, you can find anything that you like. That's right. Brienne and Company is a jewelry boutique that has durable minimalist jewelry. She uses genuine pearls, local shells and sea glass, natural gemstones, and of course, precious metals. And these are all quality handcrafted designs by Brienne Light herself. Go and visit her at her website, brienneandco.com, or go to her Instagram that's always popping at Brienne and Company. Thanks, Brienne. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all my baggage droppers around the world, welcome to another episode of the Drop Your Baggage podcast, where we talk to people that are dope, that can bring you hope and teach you a technique that can help you cope. And it's hosted by me, the self-talk engineer, Charles Woolfork himself. And today we have an incredible guest, an amazing dude right here, a brother from another mother, Pohaku Kekaulua. Now, Pohaku is from Wailua, Kauai, Hawaii. He is a professional bodyboarder. He has been bodyboarding for 2 decades and has won multiple competitions. He is also a kayak tour guide and been doing that for over a decade. And he also is a cultural practitioner and a hula dancer who performed in last year's Merry Monarch competition over on Big Island. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you Pohaku Kekaulua, Kekaualua. What's up, Pohaku?
What's up?
Hey, man, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, bro.
Yeah, on a magic.
Dope. So what you just told me not too long ago was that you made your dreams come true because you said you dreamed of being a bodyboarder, and man, you manifested it, right? So tell me about your journey with bodyboarding.
Started when I was two, like just being pushed in by my brother at Anahola Bay. And of course, just like anything else, when you fall in love with it, you know exactly what you want to do for the rest of your life.
Mm.
You know, kept me out of trouble. Uh, was able to, use this to be able to express myself and also be able to get rid of, you know, baggage, I guess you could say, things that were going on in my life, be able to think about problems and all of that kind of stuff. Then I was later able to bring it into the contest world. Thank you to Uncle Ed for not telling me about my first contest, bringing us to the beach, and it's just like, hey, you're in a contest. It's the funnest thing of my life. Did it when I was 8 years old, and then kind of didn't really look into it after because I wanted to perfect everything. And then at 9 years old, I felt confident enough to be able to start doing contests on the island through HSF, and then later on traveling to Oahu multiple times to do USBA.
Time out. Wait a second. You throwing some acronyms at us, dog.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. I was gonna get
HSF. What's HSF?
HSF is Hawaii Surf Federation,
Got you.
and
Good.
USBA is United States Bodyboarding Association.
Ah, that's what's up. Okay.
But they were both ran in cahoots to each other. So what I was gonna introduce them and say that if you did first to fourth in Hawaii Surf Federation, you would go to United States Bodyboarding Association.
Got you. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just didn't. I was gonna be left behind super quick. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. So it was more like, I did good on this island, so then I felt confident enough to go to Oahu to kind of, and the difference in the waves were trippy. So surfing new waves and whatnot. Then I was able to make a name for myself just through those two contests, and became sponsored at 12 years old, and a professional, or in the professional ranks at 16 years old as an amateur still, and then was able to fully become a professional at like 17 or 18.
Wow.
I stopped doing amateur contests at around that age and accepted my first paycheck from a contest. So that's how that's how you become professional, I guess.
Awesome. I got a bunch of questions for you. So, what was it about the water that really called you when you were young, and like that you had this connection with, where you can express yourself and let go of the things that were bugging you?
So water, you know, well, first of all, surfing, there's a few elements of surfing that you can't get anywhere else.
Mm,
Um, the feeling of gliding across the water and the water going, past your body.
hmm
The feeling of getting barreled and the visual euphoria that you get when you're in the curl of the wave.
hmm
Um, and then the genuine complete stoke of just being able to do whatever you want to do on the wave that you're catching.
hmm
Nobody's out there telling you, you gotta catch this wave. If you don't catch this wave, you fail. Nobody's telling you, you gotta land this wave. You gotta land this trick. If you land this trick, you fail.
hmm
know it was really a way that you could express yourself. If you fell off your board into the water, of course it's water, most of the time it wouldn't hurt
hmm
unless you hit reef, but that's different. um but it was really like everything in the water when I'm bodyboarding I control except for the wave.
Yeah.
So it's being able to use one element that you can't control,
Yeah.
but controlling what you do with that element. And it's weird how it connected at such a young age,
hmm
but it was something like, hey, I can't get enough of this feeling and I could live with it for the rest of my life. So it was something that I chased.
Love it. And like, tell us some of the life lessons that you've learned from being in the ocean and being a bodyboarder.
Patience is key,
Why?
and or patience and perspective is key. So patience, because you might not always get one wave after another. You get one set wave, you got to wait 5 to 10, maybe 15 minutes. If you're at pipeline, a whole hour to get another wave.
hmm
So you're spending, 3-4 hours and maybe only getting 3-4 waves.
Mm,
I mean, at pipeline, there's over 100 guys out in that lineup.
right.
And so when you're trying to surf, you dodging people, you're running people over, like, and then you finally get a wave and somebody cuts you off. Like, it's really hard in places like that. But it can
hmm
go from you catching a wave every time you paddle out to you like catching a wave, paddling out, and then having to sit in the lineup for like 20 minutes to an hour to get a wave.
Right.
So like, I don't know. For me, it just it's it's something that I definitely can live with for the rest of my life. And it keeps you young. It keeps you young, man, for sure.
Oh, how so?
Um, keeps you in shape,
hmm
keeps your mind like always looking around to like understand how the wave's gonna break,
hmm
understand where not to be.
hmm
You ever seen the movie North Shore?
No, not yet.
You gotta watch that movie. You'll remember this. When
Uh-huh.
the wave is here, don't be there, or you're gonna get drilled. But just like if you might have heard this saying,
Mm.
nobody listens to Turtle.
I've heard that before. Yeah.
It comes from North Shore.
The movie.
Yeah, because Turtle's the one that says that.
Okay.
He's a Howley surfer boy, but he's like, if the wave is here, don't be there.
Yeah.
Drilled, And
Uh-huh.
so like, yeah, that's where nobody listens to Turtle comes from.
And you were talking about perspective too.
Yeah, and then perspective is when you catch the wave. Not every wave is the same, but
Mm.
you have to look at the wave in a certain way to be able to know what tricks you can fit into what part of the wave. 360 in a pocket, then you get barreled a little bit, and then you come out and you do like like an aerial maneuver or something.
God. Hey, so you got to figure that out like in like seconds, like a nanosecond, like boom, instantly. You got to feel it, and then intuitively you'll know, like, oh, I can do this, this, and this.
The way the wave gets all hollow or flattens out, the way the pitch of the lip is, like how much speed, how much speed you're gonna get off of the wave, so that you can time from your takeoff to the ramp point. And then when you're in the air, you only have that split second to be able to bring your board back underneath you to be able to land on it.
Oh my gosh. It's got to feel good to like feel like you can fly for a second too.
Yes, it definitely feels good to be weightless.
Yeah.
Hashtag somewhere between heaven and earth.
Yeah. All right. So who was the first company to sponsor you? The shout out to them.
Science Bodyboards was the first company to pick me up as a bodyboarder. Thank you, Norm Skorgi. He lives out there on Oahu. He owned his own shop, Turbo Surf at the time, and him and my mom ended up getting in contact because my mom was actually the one that searched up how to get me sponsored. And so she, I guess, ran into Norm somehow. He ended up, telling her to bring me by. I went and checked out the shop. It was during one of those Oahu contests. So then he came down to the beach and gave me a brand new board. I served the contest on that brand new board and ended up winning the 12 and under division.
Hey,
so that's how I solidified my spot on the team.
Oh man.
And how's this? So this is kind of bittersweet, but more sweet than bitter. At the contest, we finished our heat, and there's 2 Oahu local boys, 1 Maui boy, and then me from Kauai. And so we all surfed in the surf contest, and everybody was. And when we were all finished, the crowd kind of came down and grabbed one guy who was one of the main like local boys from Oahu, and like picked him up on the shoulder and like hiked him up the beach like he won the contest. So we're like all bummed.
Yeah.
All the other kids are just like, wow, like he gets carried up the beach, like we already know who won.
Yeah.
That sucks, but whatever, like you don't win everything. But it was just like, oh wow, like okay, I guess he won. So now we're just wondering who's in second place between the rest of us,
Yeah.
So then we're just like, oh whatever, but it's the finals of an amateur 12 and under. So they don't announce the final places until the award ceremony after the contest. So we waited, went and surfed or free surfed and stuff at the shore break and whatnot. And then later on at Senior Frogs, or what used to be Senior Frogs, on Oahu was where the award ceremony was. And so I'm like kind of just waiting, for us to be announced. And we're the first ones to get announced because we're the youngest crew. And so they go through the names. The Maui boy came fourth. The other local boy from Oahu came third. And so I'm like, oh, okay, sick. I get second,
So wait a second. The guy that they carried away, he came in third?
No, the other guy. There was 2 boys from Oahu. The other one that didn't get carried away came in third. So I'm like, oh, sick. I got second. That means I get brand new fins,
Yeah.
All psyched, like, yeah, brand new fins. And then they're like in second place, and they say the Oahu boy's name. And I'm all, what? I get a board? That's so sick. I was psyching, and yeah, so that's how it went down. Like in my head, I was like, I counted myself out already.
Yeah.
Carried him up the beach. I was like, so I guess that's who won.
Yeah.
So I guess it's whoever's in second place. And so I wasn't named for fourth or third. So it's like, Finn, second place.
Yeah.
Like all psyched, And then they're like, and in second place. And they're all, and then they're like, they say the other boy's name, and I'm all, oh, I look at my mom. I'm like, yeah, I won.
That's awesome. Was that your first competition that you won too?
Yeah. that was the first.
Oh man! So you won the competition and you got a sponsorship in one day.
Yeah.
That's epic, dog.
Yeah.
That's epic, man. Congratulations on that one. That's awesome. Where have you had competitions at?
Ooh, mainly like so. For a while, it was just Kauai with Hawaii Surf Federation or HSF,
Mm-hmm.
and then Oahu was USBA, which is United States Bodyboarding Association, and then also the Pipeline Contest, which is IBA, which is International Bodyboarding Association, and that was the one that went around the world for a while. And then going back and forth between those, doing contests on Maui, doing contests on Big Island, and then finally going and following the USBA tour, United States Bodyboarding Association tour, which went to Huntington, Sandy Beach on Oahu. What's the other
Oh snap!
Oceanside. In California.
Oh snap! Loud as hell.
And then New Jersey, Jenkinson's Beach, New Jersey.
Oh, crazy! So how was the differentiation between all the way west and then all the way east?
No difference.
No difference.
The water stinks a little. But there was no difference, like, because the contest in New Jersey in like the September window where you can I don't know how to turn this off.
Hell no.
Where you can surf, like when you surf in board shorts, where usually like they're surfing like complete 5mm wetsuits in the winter time, where guys come out like they have beards and stuff, and guys come out and there's icicles on their beards.
Oh my god.
Like it gets like these guys, like, so you've had a slushy before, right?
Of course.
Like they surf in the ocean when it's a slushy.
Hell nah.
It's nuts. Oh my god, I thought
no worries, I'll edit all this part out.
that's like where I've had contests in America or in the US. Other than that, I've been to Brazil, Chile, Portugal, Australia. I've been to Tahiti for free surf, and then I've been to Indonesia for free surf as well.
What's been some of the roughest things that you went through as far as being a bodyboarder?
Missing flights.
Really? What was so tough about that?
Not having the money to be able to get another one.
And
having to like really like throw a nuts pitch to the sponsors for them to cover just that one flight. Because all you got to do is like, you miss a flight, you can't get another one because you don't have enough money. So you get them to pay for that flight, and then you meet up with your flights that you have going home. You know what I mean?
Wow, yeah. So you were pretty much stuck in a spot.
Yeah, and like for me, it's no big deal. It's just a little challenge. I mean, I have a whole month, or not a whole month, but at the time when I missed the flight, I had a couple days to get there, but I had a whole month to be able to like wait, or to be able to link up with my next flights back home, because I was in Portugal for so long. So I was like, all I need to do is get to Portugal and then I'm good. Like, you guys don't have to really help me out any financially, way. But if I spend this money to go to, like, I had the money, but if I spent it, then I wouldn't have had money to be able to rent the car that I needed to get to and from each contest, because of the commute in Portugal is so long.
Wow. That's intense, being all the way across the Pacific Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah.
And stuck there. That is intense. Yeah. How the heck did you, so you had to call the sponsor up, they fronted you the cash, And did you have to pay that back?
Yeah. So what it wasn't really like it came from the company sponsor. It was like the representative of the company, not Science. It's another company that I had I had gotten a hold of before I left. They're not my sponsor anymore, so I'm not gonna say their name. But they helped me out and got me to where I needed to go, and then I kind of did like a little trade. I did have to pay some of the money back, but the other part of the trade was doing like photo shoots and videos of me bodyboarding for advertisement for them.
Cool.
Which was cool. That's pretty much a sponsorship. But then they ended up falling through. They're no longer, a thing anymore. I just know that if I say the name, that then the person that's connected to it will hear about it.
Yeah. It's like that. Well, we don't want no problems.
Yeah.
Hey, one thing that's inspiring about you. So I met you. You remember where I met you?
Up on the mountain, right? Is that the first time?
First time I met you was at the Kauai Men's Conference. We were in the same group together.
Yes, that's right.
Hell yeah. I'll never forget it. I remember like, then this is a solid ass dude right here. Because we were talking about what makes a man. And you said the most important thing was integrity. And I just thought, man, like this guy, he's freaking solid, man. You talked about how when a man tells someone that he's going to do something, he actually falls through and does it. And he's a man of his word. And I was like, man, like that's something that didn't register to me like that. You know what I mean? I didn't have that. I had plenty of male figures as far as coaches and uncles and things like that. But my mom had like multiple boyfriends that would come in and out of the house. So like having that perspective that you had, with the people that were within your community and your father and everybody that was close to you, I thought that was phenomenal. And like something that you are dedicated to is growing as well. Like what always gave you this hunger for growth as a person and as a man?
Seeing the amount of respect that knowledgeable people get, because knowledgeable people not only have knowledge about a lot of outside things, i.e. cars or their profession, but like when you have general knowledge about people and things that could have been done better, or things that you like, showing how you can take positives away from negatives, you can take positive lessons away from negative situations. Like I see how much respect people get, like knowledgeable people get in that sense, because my parents, like they've given me everything, you know what I mean? Like everything I wanted, they gave me. They would put together the finances to get what not only I needed, but my brother and the family, of course. But it was like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. It was knowing that money isn't always what gets you respect. And then growing into like seeing like self-help books and like growing into myself, I started realizing that money is actually what makes people think that you're a complete asshole. And then well, I mean, think about it. Like you just you say to a local boy, I'm from Princeville, and look at the look they give you.
Yeah.
Because everybody's rich in Princeville, they think you're some stuck-up person. You know what I mean? But not everybody's like that. But
exactly.
It's just the few bad apples that they've met.
Yeah.
Have them conditioned to think that way. And so sadly, majority of the population thinks that way.
Yeah.
And for me, I thought that way.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until I grew up more that it's the people who have insecurities of their richness that are the assholes.
Agreed.
And so I was like, that's where I was like, hey, knowledge won't only, like, it gives you respect to a certain point, but knowledge, the more knowledge you have, the more money you can get paid if you place that knowledge in the right perspective.
100%.
And so when I seen that, I was like, hey, okay. And then I started reading self-help books, and those started helping me realize, like, hey, some of the most successful people in the world read, 3 to 5 books a month, And so it's like, well, shit, look like I gotta get on my read game, man.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, reading books, but also books are good, okay? But nothing is gonna teach you as fast as experience.
100%.
And being able to travel to, the 12 different countries that I have been to, I was able to see a whole lot of different aspects of a whole lot of different lives, and just to realize my life and where I come from and how my life was set up. Like, dude, to some people, my life was given to me on a platinum platter, not a gold, not a silver, on a platinum platter. Like, to some people, especially going to places like Indonesia, guys get paid $500 a month over there. Like, and they boss Okole over there. They boss ass. They do the nutsiest things. They climb, the people over here that get paid $48 an hour or some crazy salary to go climb those really, 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 really tall towers to go make sure that they're doing whatever the towers do. They get paid a lot of money, but in Indonesia, the people that are doing the same job don't get paid. They get paid $500 a month salary. And over there, just to have a house is, $250 a month. Then they have like the junkiest electricity, and that's like another, $100-something a month. I mean, I'm looking at this, and they get 500 rupiah.
Yeah.
And if you know what 500 rupiah is,
how much is that in the US dollar?
Like $11, $12.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
Or like, and that like fluctuates, like I think when I was there back in 2007, it was $20.
It's crazy.
Nowadays, when I went back there last year, or sorry, the year before, it was $17.
It's crazy.
And it's like, bro, you only get paid $17 a month.
Hey, that's when Tony Robbins said that some people live off of $1 a day, and that's what he was talking about. I never like knew what that meant. I was like, how does that happen? But he's talking about the exchange rate, how people literally live off $1 a day, and that's more than enough for them to live off of and like pay their bills and to eat off of.
$500 in our money would be able to buy those people a house for the whole year.
It's crazy.
So like, you know what I mean? Because they're paying what, $5 to $10 US for a house for a month.
That's wild.
But the house, but it's not our house. It's not like a house like we're used to. You know what I mean? Like, they're still sleeping on the dirt, like open dirt. You know what I mean? It's just a roof, and walls, and open whole windows, no screens, none of that. If you want that one, that's like $1,000 for a whole year.
I saw something similar to that when I went over to Honduras, and I was just shocked that people live like that. So what you were talking about that, or what you were just talking about was experience, with the knowledge.
Yeah, experience.
Experience. So there's two ways that you can be knowledgeable, and one of them is definitely experience, and the other one, like you were talking about, was through reading. But it don't mean anything if you don't experience it by taking action and applying what you read. Because with those self-help books, it doesn't mean a damn thing It doesn't mean a damn thing if you don't like actually apply what you read.
Don't put it together exactly.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, like if I mean it's just like anything. Your coach tells you how to run a pass route. It doesn't mean shit if you're not running the pass route.
Yeah, real talk.
But it doesn't mean anything if you don't even catch the ball.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, of course there's that aspect, but what was it? It was experience and action.
Experience in action. Yeah, but like experience is what you did was you change your perspective. What you actually changing your expected perspective and like going to those places and seeing how other people live, that makes you a lot more grateful. You know what I mean? And it's a thing to where a lot. I wouldn't.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I think that it's like when you experience something, experience is being able to use your, you know, your 5, 6 senses to be able to fully intake everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's why, like, you know, you can see how they live through Google, you know, search.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
you'll never be able to understand how they live if you don't go and see it.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. The I on Google search you can go to Niihau and you can go up and down the streets.
Yeah.
But I have no clue how they live over in Niihau. Like
Exactly.
it's just, I mean, as far as the language, like speaking the Hawaiian language and like how are things at night? I know it's probably dark as hell over there at night. You know, how do the kids go to school and what does everybody do during the day? You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Like just the appearance of something doesn't mean that you know anything about it. You have to actually go in there and you have to immerse yourself in it. Yeah.
You gotta feel it. That's the only way that you gain all of this knowledge is using your body to feel it. You know, seeing it is one thing, but if you see it but can't smell it, you don't really know how good the food tastes. You know what I mean? Or how good the food smells. And then if you can't taste it, you don't know how good it tastes. You know, you can touch it, but you know, that's only one, you know, two things. You're looking at it and you're touching it. You know, and touching it, like say if you're touching a mouse pad, you can tell that it's soft. You know, you touch meat, you can tell if it's medium, if it's rare, if it's well done, but you don't know how it tastes. I mean, I'm not my mouse pad, but you know what I mean? Like you don't know how it tastes. So it's like you gotta use all of the senses that you were given in order to fully experience something. And that's why I believe that you learn faster from experience and action is because you're getting everything. All your receptors are recepting something all at the same time during the same event. So you learn a lot quicker like that.
100%. 100%. So like what is one of the things that you find yourself most fortunate in learning and experience besides travel due to your journey with personal development and growth?
Like, wait, ask the question again.
So, for example, one thing that has expedited my personal growth is public speaking. I've grown a hell of a lot from not caring about what anybody thinks, just going up on the stage, going anywhere, and knowing that I can act as silly as I want to. I can, quote unquote, look like a fool in front of a lot of people and not be affected at all. That's one thing that I've experienced, that I've read in books and that I've actually practiced, that have now made me into a better person. You feel me? That's the application and it's the experience of it all, immersing myself into Toastmasters, into speaking contests, and therefore becoming a better person. What's something that you feel that you've immersed yourself in besides travel that has made you into a better person?
Ooh, that's a good one. Besides travel.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh. Damn, that's a deep question.
I don't mess around in the Drop Your Baggage podcast, dog. I want to make you think a little bit.
So, like, what has made
Well,
me,
you were also in leadership Kauai too, correct?
yes,
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm sure, you being a leader in some things, you running a company, like there's been so many different experiences.
like I kind of knew that I had a lot of the, I mean, I'm not trying to upspeak myself, but I knew that I had a lot of the leadership attributes that they were going to teach me. Was being able to put those attributes in the right place is the reason why I took the class.
Gotcha.
After or before that, I ran, a bodyboarding association, nonprofit association for 10 years.
Oh, snap.
And so what I did was I used my sponsors from the age of 15 to be able to get free stuff to me. And then I would give that free stuff to the winners of the contest. So to the kids, it was a way for me to give back.
Oh, man.
So I ran that. Like my mom started it, of course. I was 15 when it started, but
Mhm.
I helped run, and then later on I took the reins until COVID. So, and then COVID is making it really hard for me to continue because I got to get permits, and then the permits you have
Right.
to go through a whole bunch of new stuff now.
Yeah.
And so it's a little bit like there's a lot of hoops, but now I gotta get like different, insurance and all of that kind of stuff. So there's deeper hoops that are harder to get through.
Mhm.
Eventually, they're not gonna be there anymore because I'll be
Mhm.
way past them, and
Mhm.
I will get those permits. Trust me.
Mhm.
Um, but it's like being able to, I guess, going back to the question, where where have I, I guess, grown the most on the side of travel, I want to say would be tour guiding, because tour guiding is exactly the same thing as public speaking, just to a smaller crowd every single day.
Mhm.
So now when you get a different crowd every day instead of one crowd one day, it's
Right.
a lot harder because you have to, I mean, I wouldn't say a lot harder, because in a big crowd you got to gauge more people.
Mhm.
In a small crowd you gauge lesser people, but when you have a new crowd every day, it's a different engagement. You know what I mean? So I feel like that, and not figuring out, but kind of feeling and seeing the different types of backgrounds and lives that people come from while you're on tour. Because like, hey, I've been doing kayak tours for 19 years. It's the best freaking couples therapy ever. You know
That's
what I
awesome.
mean? And so, like, just being able to, I guess, connect with, anywhere between 6 and 12 new people every single day is definitely where I feel like I've grown a lot from. And then
Yeah.
also the suggestions. So, like, when I get into some conversations like this, like I said last time, it's rare for me to get into conversations like this. But when I do, especially with somebody that I don't know, like that's when I get like the really cool, like they tell me what books they read, they tell me what movies and documentaries they watch, and all of that stuff. Like, hey, the way I look at it is everybody in this world that you come across has something to teach you.
Mhm.
Now you just got to find out what it is they were trying to teach you. Even if they weren't trying to teach you anything, you can learn something from them. You know what I mean? And
100%.
so like it's funny, I use relationships in Hawaii to like kind of broaden the picture. Like, when guys or girls are like, you can't talk to that girl, or you cannot talk to that guy. You know what I mean? Or don't talk to boys, if you're talking to boys, you're cheating on me. Or if you're talking to girls, you're cheating on me. You cut off so much opportunity not talking to people because your other half is insecure. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, yeah, you love the other half, but they're super insecure about, you talking to the opposite sex. They think you're gonna leave them. They think that the other person is gonna try something on you or whatever. It's just really like you cut off a whole bunch of opportunity from like half the population. I mean, that's if boys and girls are split directly down the line.
Mhm. Mhm.
you know, half the population, you can't even get any knowledge from them because you're not allowed to talk to them. Like, you know, that's hard for me. And so when I, I've had a few girlfriends who despised what I would do because I'm like, I'm not trying. I could care less if she likes me.
Right.
I'm not trying to hook up with her. But hey, she's the one that's able to go golfing or do whatever she does while I'm at work. Tell me, I
Mhm.
what can't I learn from her right now?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? She's able to live her life, and I at work. You're at work. You go talk to her then. You know what I mean? Like, get something from her, kind like
Real talk.
there's something there that she's doing that if she really wanted to, and all literally sometimes all you gotta do is ask.
Mhm.
You could meet the guy that sells all the blueberries in the world and
Mhm.
ask that guy. He's German, by the way. I met him playing golf. Anyway, so ask that guy what he did to get to where he's at today. I guarantee you he has something to say, especially if you're playing around at 18 with the
Mm.
guy. He's got to say something.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like, it's kind of shitty when I see couples like that
Yeah.
because, it's real close-minded when you see that kind of stuff. And it's just sad because they don't understand what they're doing to not only themselves, but their other half.
Man,
And
it's
that's just something that I use as an example because that's a huge example in Hawaii.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've heard. In fact I've experienced it in my single days.
There you go,
Um
So,
yeah. And you're so humble. Yeah, I mean, and you have this affinity towards connection with people. And I see that you have on your can shirt representing can. Hey, tell us about can real quick. Just real quick.
okay, so no matter what you do in life, you always can, period. And it starts in Hawaii. Well, the brand started in Hawaii, so that's why the Hawaiian Islands are there. But um, yeah, no matter what you do in life, you always can. If you find your can, you can literally do all the things you don't want to do to get to where you want to go.
Amen.
Because that's kind of the deal. You know, you want to become a doctor. Who wants to go to school? Exactly. You got to go to school to become a doctor. You got to do what you don't want to do to get to where you want to go. You know what I mean? At first, you didn't want to talk, but you want to be a motivational speaker. You can't dodge the talking. You got to talk.
Mhm.
So then, you did what you didn't want to do, and now you love it.
Absolutely.
And that's just what it is. Like, I want to, like, so to say, football players. I want to be the best football player in the world. Well, you ain't gonna get better sitting at home. You better go be running pass routes or reading over plays or running wind sprints to get faster with weighted vest on or something. Like, it's not gonna just fall into your lap.
Mhm.
And who wants to run wind sprints? I don't want to run wind sprints. No, but no. But hey, if you want to be a football player, you want to have good lung system for when you go surf, you want to be a soccer player, you want to be any kind of an athlete, you got to be somewhat in physical shape.
Mhm.
I don't say got to be in shape because round is a shape too.
So hell nah. Oh man. Yeah. Amen. Hey, Can. Shout out to Can. And here on the Drop Your Baggage podcast, we talk to people that are dope that can bring you hope and teach you a technique that can help you cope. And that technique is mental and emotional release. And today, Pohaku is going to be getting rid of a fear that he has. He has the fear of scarcity. Hey, Pohaku, hey, tell us more about this fear of scarcity and why you want to get rid of it today.
Because it's something that I don't want holding me down anymore.
Yeah.
Something I don't want to think about when I have to think about the situation. And something that doesn't like you know, it arises a little bit of anxiety. I'm not the person to really use that word openly because I think anxiety can fully be controlled. But it does give me that, excuse me, that worry a little bit. And if I was to think about, you know, a lot of like, or not a lot of things, but if I was to think about the things that bother me in life, there's not very much, but that would be the biggest one for sure.
So it's the fear of not having enough when you're put in a certain situation where you have more responsibility.
Yes. And it's more of a particular situation because I don't know, other situations don't seem like, I wouldn't say don't seem as important to me, but don't seem like as much of a challenge.
So like it's a weight, it's a heavy weight. Like,
Yeah.
can we get more into it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So like it's about like when your parents pass away, your parents are a big part of your life and your company and who you are. They're like your biggest support system.
Yes.
And you said that when they pass, you won't have that support from them, whether it come from you guys splitting the bills to them being able to support you and doing the small things to hold everything together.
Yes.
Yeah. So like when it comes to not having them around, it's like I don't have enough support in order to keep all these things together.
Yeah. I guess you could say it like that.
What else could you say?
How would you say that? Yeah, when you say it like that, it almost seems a little easier to think about because it's like, yeah, it's the support that I would be scared of losing. Wow, words.
Is that it?
Yeah, like, cause like it's the scare, you know, a scarcity of not having enough. It's not really not having enough. It's not having the support,
Mm-hmm.
not having that like backbone almost, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Um, and I guess that comes from being or getting used to,
Mm-hmm.
or like being conditioned,
Mm-hmm.
to almost, I guess, depend on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, I wouldn't say I depend on it, but it's something that I know that I depend on it. It's something that it's not like I solely depend on it, but like it's something that like if something goes wrong, I can depend on it. I
Yeah.
can just, hey, you know what I mean? Um, and I guess, yeah, honestly, I want to say like that comes from running the the association, the bodyboarding association. I want to say that this is where that stems from a little bit more. Yeah, so it's like having the ducks in a row. Um, I kind of
For the Bodyboard
lost thought.
Association. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So with the bodyboarding association, it was hard to find support, find people that would, you know, be able to do the things that needed to be done during contest day. You know, um, showing up, uh, showing up first of all, like on time, setting up tents, you know, setting up the PA system, setting up the generator. Like there, I remember a lot of times doing all of that by myself,
Mm-hmm.
and then you know, being like, oh, you know, this is such an awesome contest, and then being like, oh yeah, thank you very much, you know, and then at the end of the day, I'm like, oh my god, because I'm so dead. So yeah, and then when I would get the help, or like people would be like, oh, like, do you need help doing this? Do you need help doing that? It was more of like it wasn't at the time where we needed help putting up the tents. It was at the time of setting up the contest.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, like in that retrospective, I did all the contest setup, like the pre-contest setup by myself, getting the permits, getting, getting all the permits. There's 3 different ones. Getting the sponsors to support the contest. Getting, the judges to come down and help. Even like being able to trust some of the judges to show up on time. And, thank God I had a few judges, that love the sport and show up for judging, and then those guys became the guys that would help me set up the tent, towards the end, towards the tail end of everything. And like you get the Grom's parents that will come and help a little bit. But like when it came to the pre-contest help, like first few years I would set up the contest by myself, like at the beach. And then after that, like people would show up and then I'd just be like, oh, set up the tent over there, set up the tent over there. Well, I would get all the paperwork part ready for the contest, So then I'd have that physical help. But then when it came to doing the behind the scenes pre-contest, getting like dropping off the applications for the permits, going to different shops and throwing out a pitch to be able to get them to sponsor the contest, writing out, sponsorship packages so that you could give them, after you do your spiel, you give them the paper so they can see what kind of sponsorship they can give you. I did all of that by myself, not because I didn't have support, but it was hard to trust the support at that point.
Right.
And it was like, I feel like the scarcity part is also stemming from that, because I didn't want to not have enough for the contest.
Right.
Like if I was to be like, oh, tell one of my friends, okay, I was going to stop at Deja Vu. I just use them as a example. I was going to stop at Deja Vu today and give them the pitch about the contest, the same pitch that I've told you hundreds of times, and, give them this piece of paper, to go so that they could be a sponsor. I've never really asked, or I've asked Deja Vu to be a sponsor to the contest, and they have supported a couple times. But like, I'm just using them as an example, is that they, the person that I told that will be like, oh yeah, I'll do it, but never do it. You know what I mean? And so it was hard for me to trust, and I didn't, it led from scarcity.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I didn't want to not have enough prizes for the winners. That's where, and doing that for 10 years, I feel like that's where some of the scarcity comes from.
Yeah.
And might be stemming from more than, being moneyless at 8 years old. Like, who's going to have money at 8 years old if you don't ask mom? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think that the contest running was more, I was older and it's all up to me.
Yeah.
And I think that's maybe where the scarcity might come from.
Yeah, that the anxiety that you went through must have been out.
Contest, bro.
Yeah.
Every contest. And I would throw 4 to 6 contests a year for 10 years.
Oh my gosh, bruh. That's crazy. First of all, I want to applaud your heart, man. You got a big heart, bruh. Damn, you got a big heart. Like, you love to give. I see that in you, and like I'm just.
It's the boomerang effect, bro. You can't expect to just get all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You gotta give something. You gotta give back.
That's right.
And not give back in the hopes of getting something in return.
No.
Genuinely give back.
Yeah.
Because if you have no expectation, then you won't be disappointed.
Amen. And also, it's out of the kindness of your heart, and it's the law of reciprocity, though. It's the law of reciprocity. You give and you shall receive. Real talk. So let's get rid of this anxiety that you fear from the fear of scarcity.
Sure.
Yeah, I got you. Oh, first of all, so go back to that place real quick. I want you to go back to a time where you felt that fear of scarcity, and tell me where you feel it in your body. Go back to that anxiety feeling. Where do you feel it in your body?
Is it weird to say my back?
Nope.
Because I feel like every time I would think about it, I would get like this heated feeling on my back.
Okay.
Like not like a chicken skin or like not like, it was just like it would be like I'm sitting in a heated massage chair.
Mm-hmm.
And I get the same way if I fly for too long. Like I get weirdly hot.
Yeah.
And it's not like you can touch me and I'm hot.
No.
You know what I mean? It's just like me feeling like I'm just in a furnace. And it's just like the heat's coming from my back
Can you feel that now?
a little bit.
Okay.
Which is why I fixed myself in the chair just now.
Okay. Also, can you feel it anywhere else besides your back?
My heart.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Just pay attention to those feelings. So with this modality, all you got to do is three things. Number one, you got to use your imagination. Number two, you got to number two, you got to follow directions just like you follow a recipe or Google Maps. And number three, you got to trust the process. Know that I'm your guide and I'm going to be leading you through this easily and effortlessly. And I come from a place of love and high vibrations. Yeah. Yeah. Also, we're going to create an imaginary timeline. So with your imaginary timeline, your past can be to your left, to your right, or behind you. So if you were to know, where's your past?
Behind me.
Where's your future?
In front of me.
Perfect. All right. So is it all right with your unconscious mind for you to release this fear of scarcity today and for you to be aware of it consciously?
Yeah.
We already talked about the root cause a bit earlier before we started the podcast. Tell everybody what happened when you were 8 years old.
8 years old was, I hung out with my brother, guys, who's 12 and a half years older than me or around there. My brother's 12 and a half years older than me. So around his age, and hanging out with them, and then like hanging out with my brother's friends when my brother wasn't around, and going to places to go eat after surfing or something in the morning, and they're just like, so you got money? Because I'm not going to pay for you. I don't have enough money to pay for you or whatever. And just being like, oh, what? Like, now I don't get to eat? Like, and just like that happened on a bunch of different occasions, probably from the age of 7 to the age of 10. And then I guess I would say like I'm growing up and I'm, get to the age of 7 where I'm able to go and hang out and whatnot and go surf and not have, my brother guys worry about me while I'm surfing. I can take care of myself, so to say, on my boogie board, this and that, all the way up to 10 years old when I realized I don't want to be put in that situation anymore. You know what I mean? Like 10 years old, like I would go surfing with my brother's friends. But when it came to going eating, I'd just, oh, you guys go, I'm going to have my mom pick me up, what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. Like, thank you for bringing me to the beach and, but I'm going to call my mom and she'll come pick me up, or call my dad and he'll come pick me up, or call somebody, and they'll end up picking me up and bringing me home so that I'm not in that, oh, do you have enough money situation? Because I know that's coming up, especially after going through it, for a few years. I know that's coming up. And then I know that I don't have money on me. So why put myself in that situation? So that's like how I got away from it.
Yeah.
Not how I took care of it.
Got you. I understood, man. You're a very intuitive dude, bro. All right, cool. So with that being the first event, what we're gonna do is we're gonna release triggers on all the events in your life in which you had that feeling of not having enough. Okay, so we're gonna release the emotions from those events one by one, and I'll go ahead and direct you through it. All you gotta do is just follow directions. Okay. Awesome. Let's get it. So all you got to do now is just close your eyes and relax, and let me know when you're ready for the process to drop your baggage. This is a guided meditation, so I'll lead you through everything.
Trust the process.
Trust the process.
Do this, you get 2 P's with a T. Trust the process. All right. Let's get it.
Awesome. All right. Now, just imagine floating outside of your body as if though you were a spirit or energy. And just imagine seeing yourself right here, right now, float above your body. See yourself like a fly on the wall. See the desk to your right and the window to your left, the door to your left, the screen in front of you, the red curtains. Let me know when you can see yourself.
I can see myself.
Awesome. Now, just imagine floating up above your timeline and float behind you and float deeper and deeper and deeper into the past. It's above the dinosaurs during the prehistoric age. Let me know when you're above the dinosaurs.
Okay.
Okay. Now, as you're above the dinosaurs, just imagine floating deeper and deeper and deeper into space to where space and the atmosphere connects. And imagine your timeline is the size of a fingernail. Let me know when you're there.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. Listen closely. Float very, very high above your timeline, above each and every event in which you felt as though I don't have enough. From birth until now, in chronological order. Don't skip one event that has a charge on it. Preserve the learnings and let go of this fear of not having enough all the way back to now. Go. Focus your attention upon how you're a survivor. Hurt people hurt people. We're all doing the best that we can with the resources and consciousness that we have. We can't control anyone else's actions, but we can control our response. We can grow stronger and wiser and learn from other people's actions and mistakes. Other people's actions have nothing to do with you. It's only a reflection of their baggage or whatever they're going through at the time. And we're better people than we were when those events occurred. You're a better person than you were when those events occurred. What is something positive and empowering you can tell yourself in each and every event with the consciousness that you have today that will allow the emotions to evaporate like water on the concrete on a hot summer day? Also, be sure to look at other people's point of view so you can have a deeper forgiveness. So you can have deeper forgiveness, deeper empathy, and have a deeper breakthrough, the most profound breakthrough. All good? Flow down into your body and open your eyes when you're ready. Welcome back.
That's trippy.
Yeah.
I've never actually like kind of thought about it like that. Like how, I mean, I've thought about looking at problems from about 360 degrees. And so I totally related to, you know, this exercise. And when you're able to kind of look at it from like a fly's point of view, you can kind of see what you were missing in that whole situation. And like, I think about that when problems, challenges, and situations pop up now, but not what I've gone through in the past.
Yeah. So you've always been reflective.
Yes.
But
that's something that I plan like every night, is to, spend 15 to 20 minutes reflecting on what I went through the day, and being able to like kind of confront it in my mind if it was a bad situation, and embrace it in my mind if it was a good situation, and just kind of learn whatever lessons, good or bad, were there, and then not really discard the whole thing, but keep it in the memories as something that worked positive for me. And and use that for what you call use that for like future preferences,
Right.
because there'll be many more. I feel like
Oh, for sure. Hell yeah. You're so
many
young.
more challenges, many more, problems to be taken care of. Like I don't really like to say problems because problems switch your mind to think that they're bad instead of
Mm-hmm.
challenges to think to make them good.
Mm-hmm. Something that you can overcome.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Kind of
like,
like
go ahead.
kind of like what we just did.
Yeah.
It's a really really deep reflection tool. So
The the
being coached through that is different too. You can kind of like listen and understand what you should be doing versus thinking and believing that that might be what you should do. You know what I mean? Like when you're reflecting, when you reflect about yourself, like you don't really have somebody being like, go, be a fly on the wall, look at all the past, situations that was just similar like this one. Take what you need and discard what you don't, like that kind of stuff. Like you don't have somebody saying that
mm-hmm.
or, you know, next to you kind of coaching you through that when you reflect on your own. So
Mm-hmm.
it was a little bit different for me and helped a little bit more. So thank you for that.
Of course.
But like, you know what I mean? Like when it comes to reflecting on your own, you don't have so to say that or that coaching like how you do here.
You
So
don't have that what?
the push or the coaching,
Yeah,
you know, to get
100%.
so
The
it's different.
yeah. Well, so let's try to let's test it out. Let's test it out. So like can you smell bacon?
Figuratively speaking, because no bacon.
That's a joke or not a joke. That's a question that I asked to get your mind off of the meditation because
Oh,
you were in a bit of a trance there for a second.
like figuratively speaking.
Hey, so dig this. Can you remember a time in the past in which you used to feel that old emotion or limiting belief? And go back and notice if you can find it or feel it, or you may find that you cannot.
So like another event.
So go back in the past,
Mhm.
okay, and see if you can and go and remember a time in which you felt as though you had that limiting belief or that negative emotion, right? That we were going over.
Yeah.
And see if you can still feel that feeling that you felt before, or you may find that you cannot.
No, no, because there's, after when you said to go through a few of them or go through all of them or all the times that you felt like that,
Mm-hmm.
I started getting closer to here,
Mm-hmm.
to the present part of the timeline, and it started becoming lesser or like yeah, lesser noticeable, less like it doesn't really it honestly doesn't really matter anymore.
Mm.
It's more like now if I was to look back on the situation, it's like it was that got me to do at least one or two things of what I'm doing now,
Right.
which is, being able to one is have the plan,
Mm-hmm.
because back then that's what I was missing. Like, hey, if I'm gonna go surf with these guys,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I should have asked my mom before leaving for a few dollars for lunch after
Right.
plan, and then working on the plan and then being able to do what you want to do or go with them and stuff like that. The plan,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm like, let's go surf.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then also because I went through that for a few years, I feel like that's the reason why I became or I looked and I'm still looking to become more of, is financially competent. Back then, like, I didn't have money, and that's also what made me want to get a job so early. I've been working since I was 10.
Right.
So that, and then having the amount of experience as a tour guide from 10 years old to now, if I'm looking at all of these, this all stems from that situation, whether it, like, I think it does it or it doesn't, I'm pretty sure it does.
Yeah.
Because not having the money, even at that young of age, not having the money and totally like missing out on a meal, or watching somebody else eat in front of me, like that hurts. And to be like, excuse my French, but no, fuck that. That ain't happening. You know what I mean? Like, and then not, like, at the time of when it's happening, saying that to myself, but not really getting rid of, that the hold that it had on my anxiety and being how I was. And it's just, now I can look at it and be like, that's why I am where I'm at in those certain categories today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You'll never.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I'm kind of stoked that I just went through that from a different point of view.
Amen. All right. So think about it this way. I want you to go out into the future, to an unspecified time in the future, which, if the same thing would have happened in the past, you would have felt that anxiety of not having enough. But it's the future now. So see if you can still find that old emotion, or you may find that you cannot.
In the future, I think I would react differently now. Oh, did did you hear me? Yeah, okay. Because it said, something about the internet.
Yeah. You would react
Um,
differently now.
yeah, I think I wouldn't think along the same lines as when as I did. It almost would be more of like, okay, like, I got this kind of deal, more like a challenge, more like,
Yeah.
you don't have money, like, no, but I will, you know, like, I will have money, I will, you know, and I might not have money now, for, so to say, this meal, but this, it's, this moment's gonna pass. And I'm gonna be in a place where I, you know, just, if I ever come to that situation, it's okay, buddy. I got lunch next time.
Yeah.
I like, yeah, you don't have to pay for me, like, I'll skip this meal. It's fine, but just know that the next time we go surf, I got lunch.
Yeah.
You know? It's because, now I look at it as more of like a challenge, I guess, and more like, hey, like, okay, like, this is, that's how I'm gonna get to the next level. You're gonna see me level up, you know, and not really holding on to it anymore, like, because it's not something that's bother me. It's gonna make me stronger.
Amen. Amen.
Because it kind of has. I just didn't really look at it like that.
Real talk. It really has. Yeah.
Because of all the situations that I've been in, because of that situation, or the follow-up situations, I should say.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I never really thought about it like that.
That's so cool.
Like, look at where that little comment and the consequences of that comment, so to say, maybe, I don't know how to like explain it, but the consequences of that comment, and me being able to or like, yeah, being able to see the consequences and know that that's not where I want to be anymore.
Yeah.
And act upon the consequence of not being there anymore, or not doing that anymore.
Real talk.
Which was, at the time, running away from it,
Mm-hmm.
but instead of running away from it, accept it. That's
Yeah.
the way I look at it now. It's just, I accept it. Hey, yeah, I might not have money now. Go eat. I'll wait in the car.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then, and knowing that, hey, I should have maybe not forgot my wallet at home or something. Like, I don't know what's gonna come up in the future where I'm not gonna, I might not have the money to buy lunch or not have, what I need. But now, now that I'm looking at it deeper and deeper and thinking about all kinds of different things that could mesh into this situation and, cause me to be, back into the scarcity part.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's about timing. And, at the time, okay, I might not have money. But if I don't have money to buy it at that time, that means I didn't need it. It's timing.
Mm-hmm.
It's time. It's like, hey, yeah, oh, do you have money for lunch? Like, no, I don't have money for lunch, but I will, I will, have the money next time, tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll have money to buy us lunch.
Yeah.
Or, like it's a challenge. I like it now. It's like, look at that situation and I'm just like, okay, like, sick. Like, this is what I got from that. And this is where I'm going with that.
There's also a thing to where there's abundance as well. So with the abundance factor, like there's more than enough for everyone.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? So you don't ever have to go without. You know what I mean? So it could come from a mindset of I've always had enough.
Mm-hmm.
I've always had more than enough, and I always will.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like whether you are in Portugal, whether you right, whether you
I just tied that together.
Yeah.
I just told you earlier in this thing that traveling the world made me see that I had my life served to me on a platinum platter.
Exactly.
It did.
Yeah.
And it's always gonna be like that.
Exactly.
Now.
Exactly.
Whether I'm in, London, where everything's really rich and expensive, I still got what I need.
Exactly.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. You like that's what it is right there. That's the abundance.
Mm-hmm. Let's go.
You feel good now,
Yeah.
huh? I love it.
The process.
That's right. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I love it. Huh?
One down.
Hey, so like tell the people how tell the people like about how you feel now, because I asked you to go back to that place. And
I feel pumped. I'm sorry, I'm going to like interrupt, but I am pumped. Like, bring it. We got this. It's a challenge that I'm gonna win every time.
Oh, tell people about how you feel about those old situations where you were setting up for the nonprofit. How do you feel about those situations now?
Easier, guarantee. Next time when I get that chance, it's not gonna feel like that, because there is gonna be a next time. Trust me, I'm getting those damn permits.
Hell yeah.
But I'm gonna be able to do what needs to be done, and it's gonna be a challenge, which makes it fun. And we're gonna, what is his name? Larry the Cable Guy. We're gonna get her done.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's what I'm
Married
talking
the
about.
cable guy, bro. Get
Hell
her done.
yeah. Hell yeah. So it's not you don't see it from that old point of view anymore. You see it from this new point of view of it's just a challenge. I'm gonna overcome it. I'm just gonna thrive from there.
We thrive on challenges.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Get her done. Can't believe I just thought about that.
No, right? That's the first time that Larry the Cable Guy's ever been quoted on the podcast. I love it. I love it. Hey man, congratulations on releasing that fear, man. You just look like you feel better, man.
That's automatic, bro.
Oh man. Hey, let's tie this up in a nice little bow. Please give the people some words of wisdom.
No matter what you do in life, you always can. And don't let don't ever let anything or any negative situation bring you down. There's a positive you can pull out of every negative situation, but in the end, after you pull out that positive from the negative, don't let the negative weigh you down anymore,
Amen.
because that's what I just released.
Amen. Amen. That's awesome. Good stuff. Hey, thank you so much for showing up for your divine appointment. And also, thank you all for listening to the Drop Your Baggage podcast, where we talk to people that are dope, that can give you hope and teach you a technique that can help you cope.
Look. Tit abundance. Tit abundance, boy.
He is on it. I love it. He's hype. Hey, this is that is Pohaku. This is Charles Woolfork, your self-talk engineer. If you like this, please consider hitting the like and subscribe button if you're on YouTube and Facebook. And if you're on any podcast platform, give a brother 5 stars and give me a little feedback. Hey, until next time, you guys, take care of yourself. Take care of one another. I love y'all so much. Peace.